Stevie Nicole, well, I am happy to have you on Living on Music, my dear. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem at all. And I love the fact of what I've read and researched about you and all of the things that are coming forward to you musically. And there is a lot to talk about, and I love that. Again, also somebody who grew up where in Woodbridge, right? Born and
Hmm.
raised, and now is
Yep.
in Alexandria Del Rey, so right here in this region, and there's nothing like surging and rising musicians in this area. We'll talk a little bit about how you got there because you had a little bit of a family with music, um, like
Yeah.
unbelievable. But March 2025, so about 8 months ago, a little less, 7 months ago, Rise came out, 12-track
Yes.
record, and I love the description of it, covering
Thank
themes of
you.
grief, resilience, and chronic illness. And we'll talk a little bit about how that influences you.
Yeah.
Talk about how it grew up to going to an album to release for you lately.
So it kind of happened on accident. Um,
Oh,
I never really planned to release an album. I have been in the nursing world for
yes.
10 years now, so that's been my career.
Great.
Um, I guess a lot of friends just suggested that the world needed to hear my music, and I heard that from enough separate people who weren't connected that I actually started considering it. So I wrote one song just kind of as an experiment, and that was Invincible.
Right.
I
Oh,
never knew I could write songs, no history of writing songs. But I shared the voice memo of Invincible with a bunch of different friends, and they were like, oh my goodness,
oh,
you
really?
could be onto something.
Ooh.
And even still, I kind of brushed it aside. I was like, you're my friends. Of course, you have to say
Right.
that to me.
Right.
But once I started writing, it kind of just started pouring out of me. And soon
Oh,
one song led to three, which led to eight, which led to 11. And I was like, you know what? Why not?
right.
Why not do
Exactly.
it?
Did that songwriting build over the last, year? Did it build for a little longer? When did all those songs come together? Did you just write them in a short span?
I wrote the whole album in a matter of 3 months.
Oh, fantastic.
It was wild.
Oh, I love that. I love the U.S. Insider quote, which was if her debut is this unflinchingly authentic, then her future appears to be equally uncompromising. I mean, you
I
can't
love
beat
that.
critiques like that, and I love that. We'll talk a little bit about each song. You have been very open as we've been prepping for this and things like that, and you also, in general, are website and things like that about your health issues that you've been going through. Talk a little bit about, for Stevie, what that has been like for you, and has that been for a long time? Has that been fairly recently? And then built into writing music that is helping people to listen to songs about what you're going through. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So I had symptoms throughout childhood that
Okay.
it was my norm. So I never
Wow.
knew that people weren't in pain all the time. So I
Right.
actually didn't get diagnoses until my early 20s. So we finally put a name to this. I realized that people don't grow up with all of their body parts hurting.
Right.
So I started treatment maybe 10 years ago.
Okay.
And since then, I've kind of been in and out of a medical remission for a lot of the different conditions.
Right.
So everything is pretty well controlled for the most part. But even well controlled means that I still operate at a slower pace than a lot of other people.
Okay.
I have to be conscious of energy levels, and if I overdo it too much or go too quickly on one day, I kind of pay for it the next day. So, day to day, I do still experience the symptoms of chronic illness, even though I'm relatively well controlled.
Right.
So, when this album started coming to fruition, I realized that a lot of what pushes me in my writing is the emotions that I feel.
Oh,
rather than like events in my life. It's more so like how I feel about the things.
Right.
So obviously, chronic illness is a daily thing for me. So I was writing mainly to just process my own feelings about it,
Oh, that's
like the loss of control of my own body, how sometimes it feels like I'm in a prison because my mind is still okay. My
right.
mind is still ambitious, but the body doesn't match up.
Right.
So those themes carried over into my music, and I tried to keep it pretty broad when I was writing so that it wouldn't be diagnosis dependent,
Right.
with the idea that maybe other people could also relate and feel less alone in their
Sure.
struggles
Well,
because it's isolating.
absolutely. I mean, did you ever think that you would write your music with that kind of focus?
Never. No. Never. And I thought that having chronic illnesses would prevent me from ever being a musician. So that's part of the reason I never pursued it.
Right.
Obviously, I grew up singing, playing guitar. Music has always been an outlet for me personally,
Sure.
but I never thought to make it a career or even a side passion because I don't fit the model for what people tend to look for in a young artist. I
Right.
can't keep up with that pace, you know? So it looks different for me, but I think I'm finding that there's absolutely a place for a chronically ill singer-songwriter because people are loving it and
Well,
I love it.
yeah, I mean, and again, I love some of the wonderful descriptions of what you do and what you did for the Rise too, with intimate lyrics and a voice full of both comfort and raw emotion. And what is music? There's music is glows when it has comfort and raw emotion in it, and it talks about you inviting the listeners to slow down, feel deeply, and find light in unlikely places. I love how that works because a lot of music is done to help people. And it's not just, hey, listen to, how tough it is for my health and, I hope it helps. It's that way you write and the way you sing. And we're gonna play a few things for people in the show, just some clips of what you've sung. Talk a little bit about the music, the songs themselves. Give me a couple of the songs and a couple of the titles and what they're about.
So, Medicine is track 3,
Oh,
and that one is specifically about chronic illness.
you think?
I
Wow.
actually wrote it during an infusion
Oh,
because my IV
amazing.
pump started alarming. And I
Oh.
heard that rhythm of the IV pump alarming and had the thought of, I wonder what key this is beeping in.
Oh, wow.
So I recorded it in a little voice memo on my phone, went home afterwards, sat down at the piano, and I figured out how to emulate the IV pump beeping on the piano. And then
Wow.
I incorporated that rhythm and that tone to end up writing this whole song about medicine and treatment and
Oh,
living with this. That's probably
oh,
one of my favorites.
Deep breath, the sterile scent of careful interventions. 1, 2, 3, a little pinch is a punch to the gut of the girl whose life I used to love. But I had to toughen out in the blink of a tear-filled eye. 'Cause brave means I'm still afraid, but I have to try. So here I am, I stand with shaking hands. I'll fight to win my
Oh, that's amazing. A song called Medicine. Yes, that would be directly about that. But that, see, that is incredible. I love again some of the things that have been written about you and stuff. And you've mentioned even with your feelings is that there have been some chronic illness, warriors and listeners. It said, I love that, who have loved one battling illnesses and have told you that they share your medical journey and your emotions, and the music makes them feel seen. What do you think it
Yeah.
makes? What do you think that means? Makes them feel seen.
I think that society as a whole is made uncomfortable by people with chronic illnesses.
Right.
And I think a lot of people who haven't intersected with someone with chronic diagnoses, um, they just don't know what that looks like. And when they first get a peek into what that looks like, it's heavy. So they may not know what to do with that.
Right.
And I found in my personal life, certain friends are made uncomfortable to the point where they get scared and they walk away because they can't handle it.
Right.
So, and I think that's kind of a universal experience for people, especially my age, who face these things, because a
Yes.
lot of our peers have not ever had to cope with something like that.
No,
So it's
absolutely.
easier for us to just be quiet about it
Mm-hmm.
and kind of deal with it silently on our own. And I think a lot of the people who are finding my music have lived that experience. They're used to not having the freedom to talk about it, lest they be labeled a negative Nelly or the
Right.
sick one or something like that. So I think they're finding in my music and with me a place where they can be open and feel what they're feeling
Right.
about these diagnoses. And they don't usually have that permission from a lot of
Right.
other people.
Sure. Oh, that's beautiful. That really is. And you talked a little bit about, I mentioned here and there about playing live. Now, I know that, again, having issues with health and illness and things like that can create a little bit of a slow part of that, but I'm sure that Stevie Nicole is going to play live or plays live because I'm sure you do beautifully at it. What is going to be happening with the live part of your musical career?
That's TBD. I would love to start doing live gigs locally. That is a definite goal for me on the horizon.
Right.
I think right now I'm just debating the how because symptoms are unpredictable day to day.
Right.
So if I plan something for a certain date, there's a chance that I could wake up that morning and not be able to rally and not be
Sure.
able to make it happen. So
Sure.
I'm kind of trying to think through how to navigate this path as a musician while also taking into consideration my health. And I don't want to start venturing down a path that may actually not be a good fit for me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, am I better suited as just a studio musician?
Mm-hmm.
I think we don't know that yet.
Right.
Um, but what I've been doing in the interim is live streams.
Oh,
So
good.
I'll do TikTok live streams every weekend.
Yes,
That
I've
way
seen
people
some of
can tune
those.
in from all over.
Yeah. Yep. No, they're wonderful to see too. And I'm like, God, I want to see her live.
Thank
I
you.
do. And you never know when that could happen. But again, you need to take care of yourself. And also, again, there's also positivity to be a recording musician, as you just said, a studio
Yeah.
type musician. And a little bit about your life. I know that there was an unbelievable kind of family back there playing music around you and things like that. Talk a little bit about the beginnings of music for Stevie Nicole.
Yeah, so I was raised in a very musical family.
That's great.
My dad is a jazz blues guitarist. He's played in a lot of different bands in the Northern Virginia area my whole life. He's still gigging to this day.
Oh, that's great.
Um, so I grew up around music in my immediate household, but
Right.
then both of my grandmothers are also musical. My dad's mom was an opera singer out in
Right.
LA.
Right.
And my mom's mom, she played in various family bands.
Oh.
She has played a role in directing bands of teenagers throughout the community and kind of
Mm.
raising up young artists to come
Oh.
into their own. So she taught me how to harmonize when I was like 6 years old.
Oh,
So
great. Oh,
it's
God.
coming from all over.
Well, you be right around that time, around 8, I guess you started taking some voice and piano lessons, and
Yeah.
again, fighting a little bit of stage fright,
Yeah.
big time at the time. But music seems to have been growing for you at that young age, and that shows that music was going to come somewhere, no matter what. Well, you had, you were classically trained for a while,
Yeah.
right? 10 years or so like that.
Hmm.
You went to a performing arts high school. Where was that?
That was in Woodbridge.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Right. And graduated with a concentration in vocal music, which
Yeah.
I love that. And then you performed in local musical theater productions, choirs, and things like that. Did music look like you at that point? Did it look like it was going to go further? And then how did the nursing world of your life that you're existing in today go into your world?
Yeah, so obviously, I mean, when I started into that at age 8, it was something that I personally really wanted to do.
Hmm.
And we would always joke that the two parts of my parents in me are kind of at war because there's my dad who is so social, so musical, and then there's my mom who's so pragmatic and does not want to be anywhere near the spotlight.
Right.
So there was this question of why does this painfully shy little girl want to put herself through what's looking like torture to be on stage? Like, are you sure you want to do this? My parents
Right.
would always ask. Like, we're
Right.
not forcing you to do this.
No.
Are you sure? But I did. I wanted to do it. And so I pursued that, like I said, all through middle school, all through high school. I would do three different like competitive choirs per school year, which meant that it was my whole life. I didn't do
Right.
prom, I didn't do homecoming. I didn't have those normal high school experiences because I was pouring into this music with the thought that that was going to be my career.
Right.
But then I hit, I think, junior year of high school.
Right.
And again, that part of my mom in me, that logical, pragmatic side, took a moment and was like, realistically, what are the odds that I will be able to support myself with music?
Right.
What are the odds that I will have some breakthrough and I'll be able to make this a lucrative career without struggling, you know?
Sure. Sure.
So at that point, I was like, maybe I should keep music as a passion
Sure.
and go a different route. So I
Sure.
started incorporating all of these AP science classes and biology and anatomy with the goal of, okay, I'm going to go into nursing as a career, which is more safe, but it still leaves the avenue open for music. So I didn't drop out of the performing arts program at that
Sure.
time. I finished out both. Um, but I did decide to then go be a nursing major in college. So my music kind of cut off at high school graduation and I dove into nursing instead.
Sure. And then again, not something uncommon for people who have then played music late like you're doing. This is
Yeah.
something I've run across a lot of people on Living on Music who have had, similar issues, either health or other things in life, and they went right down the road with something, and then they still were able to find a fabulously gainful musical life. You, in
Yeah.
your early 20s, I think it was, right, when you had your diagnosis come through. How did that come to bear with you? Because I knew that you had been having some health issues. When did the illnesses, the diagnoses happen?
I was probably 22, maybe 21 at the time.
Right.
Um, Obviously my parents had had me checked out by pediatricians who had
Sure.
said, "Oh, you've just got growing pains, like you're going to grow out of it." And so there was a point in college I was doing like gymnastics and became more physically active at that point, and I kind of had a light bulb moment of I'm not growing anymore. Like this is not growing pains. So since I was finally an adult, had insurance where I could go without a referral, I got
Right.
checked out by a specialist because I was like, let's just get a second opinion
Right.
to see if there could be more to this. And sure enough, there was.
Oh, good.
So,
Okay. And
yeah.
again, the nursing was going along. You had your health stuff kind of designated and diagnosed, and you had something going
Yeah.
along. When did the music kick in for Stevie? I know we talked a little bit about, the quickness of banging out Bryce's music. That's amazing.
Yeah.
When was that in your mind? When did you go, okay, I got to go forward now and write some stuff?
Um, it had to be the end of 2023. Because for those years where I was just working as a nurse, music was still my outlet. I would come
I,
home after shifts, I would sing at my piano, I would pour out all the tough emotions of what I was seeing in the medical field
right.
kind of in that way, but I never put my music out there because I'm a little weird about social media. I didn't want to make people in my life sick of my music, so I just kept it for me. I kept it
Sure.
offline. But at the end of 2023, my best friend actually passed away,
Oh,
and she was the one that I had written Invincible for. And so following the reaction to that song, I think that the grief of losing her just springboarded me into a flurry of writing. And she was one of the ones who had always wanted me to put my music out there.
oh,
So I was like, you know what? I need to just do it.
oh, that's
So that
beautiful.
is when I started posting it on TikTok. I started doing cover songs and trying to grow my YouTube. And like once I made that decision, I just dove in and I haven't looked back. And it
Oh,
was just so quick.
I love that. Yes, I saw you on YouTube. You've got the Instagram, the TikTok. So you are in the social media world of being able to get people out there. And
I am now.
that's what in 2025, you're able to share the musical part of your world without perhaps playing a lot of live music at all, but you're able to
Yeah.
do it for people live because of the amazing social media. Give me
Yeah.
you have Medicine as one song on that record. Give me a title of another one and a little bit about another one we can play people and that you love.
Um, my personal favorite on the whole album is
Sure.
probably Countdown.
Ooh.
And Countdown is was actually the last song that I wrote for that album. It was not initially in the plan to be recorded on this album,
Mm-hmm.
because I wrote it probably a week before I was supposed to go to the studio. But Countdown was written on New Year's Eve of 2024
Oh,
with the idea of that New Year's countdown. So I incorporated the 10,
five,
9, 8, 7,
four.
6, 5
Right.
in the lyrics. But the theme of the song is moving into a new year or a new season, but leaving someone else behind. So it's you've still got that grief of who or what you've lost,
Right.
and here's a new year anyway.
Right.
So it's
Oof.
that kind of bittersweet feeling of the fireworks are about to go off, everyone's going to celebrate, but I'm still sad. So it's me kind of processing that. And
Mm.
again, I sent the voice memo version to a few friends and I was like, should this be on the album? And it was a resounding yes, just
Yeah.
because it fit the theme. But
Sure.
that's my personal favorite one. I love that one.
Oh, I love that.
10 p.m. and you're on my mind. Memories clear as day after all this time. Laughter falls like glitter from cloud nine. Matching rings adorned with figure eights. Promises of forever and always. We found seventh heaven, but we couldn't stay. So farewell to the old. We'll light fireworks to ring in the new. And I knew our time was borrowed, but I'm still blue without you.
I love one of the critiques, the 15 minutes of fame music entertainment one was she transitioned from full voice to her upper register effortlessly. And even her
I
beautifully
love that.
melodic performance takes a backseat to her lyrical songwriting. No surprise that people are quickly finding out how compelling her music is. How does it make you feel to see these critiques when when you've started up your music finally, you've got an album out there and you get wonderful critiques? That's batting 1,000 right now. How does that sound to you?
It's unbelievable. I was just talking to a friend before coming on here with you, and I was like, is this happening? Like, are we doing this? Because it's wild. I mainly made this album for me. I made it because I needed to, without any other expectations. So I had the thought of, as long as this comes out in a way that I am happy with it,
Right.
I don't care what else happens.
Sure.
But to see the response, not only from listeners, but from people who know about music
Right.
and have heard so many incredible artists and are then saying these things about my music, like it's unreal.
That's fabulous. I love hearing that. And, okay, one album out, Rise. Here it is, everybody, behind me. You see it right here. But Stevie also has a sophomore album, as she calls it, underway. And, you're going to be trying to build your repertoire for possibly, again, local performances, which
Yeah.
I think you'll do. But, barring anything else coming bad to you, I think you're going to be fine. And I think being able to play some live stuff. That is going to be amazing. What about this sophomore record? What is going on in that? Is that going to be a little bit more of things for people that are being challenged and going through a lot, or is it going to mix it? How's that coming forward?
The way I see it is that it's going to be a continuation of
Yeah.
Rise, so almost like a sister album. But whereas Rise was the raw reactions to the immediate aftermath of
Right.
some of these life events, the next album is going to be continuing to live a little farther down the road.
Right.
So these things have changed you, these things have shifted your perspective and how you move through the world, but they're no longer this black cloud over you necessarily. But it's still going to be dealing with some of these same topics, just in a little bit of a brighter way.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to go places, my dear, with this. I really do. I can't wait to
Thank
hear that
you.
whole album. So you can find Rise, everybody, available on most music streaming platforms. There's a digital download available as well, which is for purchase through Bandcamp, which is very popular these days too. I got to tell you, Stevie, I'm very, very happy for you because it sounds like, you've been through some stuff and dealing with that is showing some real strength in your life and then being able to turn that music into something like this. Congratulations on Rise.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
I am so happy for that. We'll let people know about this big time through living on music and things like that. I had to mention real quick how music, the way music just really gets to people who need it. I'm in a duo with my partner Suzanne called The Greek and the Freak. And she's been a musician for 25, 30 plus years. I've been one for singer for 20 years. I'm in a number of bands as well right now, but I also sing in this duo. And our main thing is 4 times a month, we play at adult daycare centers and we play music for
Okay.
these people. And it's a different sense of what you do because you're doing new music and you're putting it out there for people that are young and possibly old who are dealing with things like that. But when we walk into that place and these people look like they're in deep, deep shape, and
Yeah,
halfway through our set, they're dancing and they're
I bet
singing
they are.
and they're crying at the end, coming up and saying, "Thank you for the music." So you should be tremendously proud of what you're doing. Not only it's probably, I mean, I've listened to a little bits of it. I love your voice. I'm not,
Thank you.
I mean that. And I'm really excited to listen to the music. And there's great music here. You're doing musically wonderful. But boy, this
Yeah.
whole edition of helping people that know what they're going through and things like that, I think you're going to excel big time. And I wish you nothing but the best. And thank you for being on Living on Music.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's my absolute pleasure. We will be in touch as we go along, and you're thinking, yeah, I think I want to play some live. I know a lot of people at a lot of live venues and a lot of things like that, and I'd love to get you out there and play a little bit too if
I
you're
would
up and
love
running. And
that.
if you're not, no biggie, you're still cranking out music. But congratulations on everybody right here, rise, right here, and we will be in close touch, I am sure, as we go forward, Stevie. Thanks again.
Thank you so much, Steve.
My pleasure.